Hello, Noblewreck here. Today let's make this figure out of air clay rather than polymer clay. First off, the materials. You're going to need clay. I'm using air clay for this project. You should be able to find this at your local department store. Look for the name Magic something. You'll need 3 toothpicks to build this along with me. You'll need a little bit of polymer clay, enough to make about 1.5 inches in diameter. Polymer clay. And now tools. You're going to need acrylic paint for this project. You'll need red, blue, yellow, and black. You'll need some lids for this project. Peanut jar lid, 2 lids from jugs, and this is a lid from orange juice. And the reason why I have 2 of these is you may want to use them to support the arms as it's drying on the figure. Just lay the figure down in there. Oops. Have our arms attached to the figure, and these will support the arms for you. You'll need a pencil. You'll need some round point. Now if you have a eraser that's already rounded on your pencil, that's all you'll need. You won't need this. But I've got this in addition to the pencil because, well, I don't have a rounded eraser. But I wanted a round point. Now, of course I have the tools to do this, but the challenge here is to do it with everyday items around the house so that you can do it along with me. A knife! This is a tool from a pack of polymer clay, but a butter knife may suffice. And you'll need a straw! Alright, so let's color the skin tone. For the other colors, all you have to do is just add 1 drop of color, but for this one you'll add 3. This is a fun medium to work with. Red, blue, and yellow. You will need these 3 colors. Shake up the container before I ever use the paint. I need just 1 drop of color. There you go. If you keep the tip of the container clean, you should get the same size drop. And the yellow, 1 drop. So it's equal parts blue, equal parts red, equal parts yellow. It may not look that way here, but that's what you're after. Equal parts of each color. And just kind of stretch it and fold it. I'm not pressing because I don't want to pop it and squeeze it out everywhere, the paint. So I'm stretching it and folding it. Hopefully that will not make a mess. Let's get some of that yellow in there too. You'll soon be seeing the colors. That's the yellow light. Oh, it's red peeking through. Stretch it, fold it. Just do that until it's all 1 color. No streaking, just all 1 color. Fold, fold, getting rainbowy looking. Just keep folding until it's all 1 color, all homogenized. That basically means it's all mixed together to where every part is the same throughout the whole medium. You should get you some of this clay. It's only $5 a pack. It's at your local department store, and it's fun to work with. If you move it too fast or pull it too fast, it'll break. But if you do it slowly, it stretches. Skin tone. I can do this all day. Skin tone. Okay, here are the 3 sizes of the 3 colors. The black and the blue are about 1 inch in diameter. The skin tone is about 1.5 inches in diameter. And the white, it's, what is it? It's about a little bigger, just a little bigger than 1.5 inches in diameter. And these are the 3 clays, the 3 shapes. Let's start with the flesh tone. Cut that in half, 1/2 there. 1/2 will be for the head, the other half will be for the body. Let's make the head. Make it sort of like an egg shape. You want it round at the top and tapering down to a smaller roundness on the bottom. And like an egg shape. And a little crease right here for the eyes with your fingers. You can make that with your fingers. And there's the head. Alright, let's cut the other half into thirds. 3 equal parts. Now one's going to be the body, and the others are going to be the limbs. This that I cut in half is going to be the legs, the other half will be the ears. The other two will be the body and the leg. Alright, let's do the body. Make a teardrop shape, flatten the bottom. We're going to add to that bottom. Make that flat, sort of like a Hershey's Kiss shape with a blunt top, where the neck will be. Alright, now let's take the white and cut it in half. Alright, let's make it into like a half circle, or a half sphere. And there you go, that'll be her bottom. Be careful with the clay because quite often, depending on how moist it is, it will stick instantly. And I'll roll it to make it marry the parts together better, and to shape it better. Alright. There's a body in her head. Now let's do her arms. Let's take one of those smaller pieces and make the arms out of it. Kind of eyeing it here. Right, and the other small piece will be for the ears and the nose, and yeah. And this is the legs, this is the large piece. Toothpick, let's break this in half. Now you can cut this, hold it like that if you do, so that it doesn't fly in your eye. But here I'm breaking it, just snapping it in half. This will be a support for the neck. So I'm drilling it into the body, but I'm being careful not to distort the body. This clay is very soft, very easy to distort. So be careful. Be very gentle with this clay, so you don't lose the shape. And I'm putting this in there about halfway, letting enough stick out so that it will hold the head. Hold the head onto the neck. I like to flatten this part out there, where the neck meets the head. Teardrop shape. Like a teardrop. Alright, oops, let that stick. It's coming together. Alright, I'm misting my clay off the screen so that they will not dry. Now, polymer clay and air dry clay. This is air dry clay. Now, water makes it stick to things, but the polymer clay is the opposite. Water keeps it from sticking to things. Alright, so I'm taking this lid mainly for the shape and size of it. I'm basically sizing this clay underneath it. This polymer clay. And put a little pressure there, flattening it out. Nice and round. Kind of like a hamburger patty. Alright, another toothpick. The second one, break it in half. Now, it's probably a good idea to prick this in with a sharp point and then turn it around. And stick it in there. Into the polymer clay. You may bake this later, the polymer clay, separate from the doll, of course. And gently twisting the leg on. This is the large limbs, the smaller limbs are for the arms. There we go, legs. Alright, so I'm going to moisten the bottom with water so that it will stick better. In most cases you won't have to do that, but like I said, it's like a glue for this particular type of clay. It's air dry clay. And there we go, stick the legs on. Now this will probably be hidden by her dress for the most part. There we go. Now let's make the dress. Now I'm putting some baby oil down so that the air dry clay will not stick to the mat. And I'm using my pencil to roll it out. Gives it a texture there, but that texture will be on the inside. So, but if you want that to be on the outside, you can experiment with that and see if you like that for the dress pattern. But I'm going to put it on the inside. I'm using the lid, twist it, and save that flange there. Don't throw that away. Nice and circular. I'm using the straw. I'm going to gyrate it here a little bit to make that circle in the middle bigger. The hole in the middle bigger. And this is about, it's like a Pac-Man. It's not with its mouth not all the way open, but a part the way. It's like 1/10 of the mass there, more or less. Maybe a little more than a tenth. And save that piece. Do not throw it away. Now be careful. Don't let this. Be careful. You have to commit once you touch. So eye it first. I'm going to eye where it goes, because once you get it on there, it's gonna marry, and you'll have to commit. All right, wrap it around, fold, and fold that over to the other. All right, snip that off right there, so it's nice and round. I'm using my blunt tool to make folds in the dress, creases in the dress. And I start pressing it closer to the body, forming those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folds in the dress. Now that piece that I said do not throw away, let's use it now. That's about a half inch in diameter. Let's cut that in half. I'm going to roll it so that I don't distort the shape. It's kind of like a cell dividing. There we go. And of course the bad part you can, right there, you can put towards the inside, touching the figure so it won't be seen. Roll it and marry it together there. Curl up the arm. It kind of reminds me of a matchstick or an ice cream. And we'll put those on later. Put the arms on later, not quite yet. Now let's make the hair. And just like the dress, we use the peanut jar lid. Get a little twisty there and save that flange just like we did with the dress. We're going to use that material as well. Alright, here we're going to do something different than we had done with the dress. Right about here is the center, so go a little bit north of that and make yourself a line. There we go, cut that through. Now this is about the shape of a ladybug. Let's go ahead and divide the wings here. What do you call it? Elytra, something like that. Divide those into 3 each halves. Divide those into 3 parts. Alright. I'm left-handed and I can't draw with my left hand. There we go. Okay, now let's do her eyes. Keep the eye sockets about an eye socket width apart. Alright, the white clay that we had put aside. Let's go ahead and use it now. The other half. And we're going to have that half and half. This is the first go. This is the second go. I'm narrowing it down to the right size for the eyes. That's still too big. And let's add some color to it. Eyes are not stark white in reality. So that's why I'm adding a little black to it to make it a gray color for the eyes. This will be number 3 in the halving process. Adding clay, that color of the hair. Adding hair color to the eyes. Alright, now let's have that in half, number 4. Still too big for the eyes. So let's take one of those and divide that in half. And we should be done then. One of those. So what has it been? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is number 5. Almost cutting it off screen there. There's the eyes. So take those 2 And use those for the eyes. Should not be too big for the eye socket now. Oh, bulging eyes, particularly. Alright, let's take that extra clay, pinch a piece off. Now this is going to be the irises of the eyes. So it's black just like the hair. And we're going to take, what is that, a 1/16 of an inch? 1/8 of an inch in diameter. And we'll divide that in half. Use those two halves for the irises of the eyes. And I'm rolling to keep those shapes round rather than squished. Alright, now here's the trick. I'm going to put it on the center of the eye to begin with and move it. And squish it. And I'm try to keep that round as possible. Squish it and push it up and over. Toward the center and toward the up. Leaving a ring of white around the other part of the eye, while covering the part of the eye that is up and center. Up and center. There we go. She's got eyes. Okay, now let's do the hair. We don't need these parts. We'll take those off, but do not throw them away. Okay, now we got some hair to apply to her head. Right down the middle of the side of the head. That's the reference as to where to put it. Let's do the other side. Now it's a little closer. Let's give her a bald spot here. There we go. A little extra there. Let's take that off. And we'll fill in the bald spot with the remaining pieces. She'll have some hair. Finger that into place. Now for the bangs, I'm going to cut that to the shape of the half of the lid. Put that right in the middle of that shape. Half of the lid. I'm just scoring it here. I'm not going to cut it through. Just basically marking it with a knife. I'm going to use the scissors to cut that. Easier to control that way. Let's take this piece off out of the center. Try to cut it all the way so that it doesn't stick in there. There we go. And we'll just cut the rest of it out. Forgot to mention that you'll need some scissors for tools at the beginning. And let's cut these little points off here. Make it a little more rounder, like a mustache. Like a classic mustache. Alright, I'm putting it halfway down her forehead. That's the marking or the location. And let's trim that crest off there. Use a knife to clean things up. Alright, the rest of the flesh tone. Let's go ahead and make her a nose. Let's use a 16th inch diameter of clay for the nose. Now, where do we put that nose? Let's go with the bottom of the eyes, a line that connects the bottom of the eyes. An imaginary line. That's where the nose will go. Right there. Below the eyes a bit. The line of the eyes. The bottom. A line of the bottom of the eyes. Okay, now let's make her some eyebrows. This is the black clay again. Square there, that's an inch. Let's divide that into thirds. Divide that square into thirds and cut the eyebrow as you do that. You're cutting the eyebrows in thirds. But because it's a weird shape, it may help you to look at the square rather than the eyebrows themselves. Alright, put that 1/3, that one eyebrow on one side. Be sure not to touch the eye. You want a gap between the eye and the eyebrow. I've got them tilted so she has a sad, concerned look to her face. Perhaps she's hungry. Alright, the mouth is just a bit below the nose, not too far. And the remainder of the black clay, let's go ahead and divide them into two hair buns for her head. flesh tone. We need to make some ears now. I'm like to make it a cylinder so both halves will be the same. I can eye it better that way. And that's too big too, so let's divide that in half. And this will be the ears. And I'm dividing it in half. A lot of having going on. Alright, 2 pieces. There's a round blunt point again. Let's go ahead and stick that in there. Into each ear. Now I don't need the both of these, now that I think about it. Let's go ahead and cut this in half. This will be both ears. There we go. I'll put it halfway between the front and the back of her head, right in the middle. Right behind the eyes. Okay, that's where we put our arm, right behind that fold there. And one more for the other side as well. Right at the neckline. Right about that point is where we're going to stick the toothpick to hold her head. There we go. Be gentle with it, this clay deforms easily. And there she goes. I think her neck's a little long, not bad though. If you play this through before making it yourself, you may want to trim the neck a little shorter. I don't think it's bad. Alright. And you can lean her up against the wall so she can dry, air dry clay. And there she is. Little girl with hair buns. Thanks for watching.